welcome to Horror Movie Yearbook. I am Tim.
And I am Willie.
We just watched the Street Fighter trailer.
Yes, we did.
and we are giddy with excitement.
Right now. Mean, I'm not I remember playing Street Fighter as a kid in the arcade. Like, that was like, when that game came out, it was like the biggest thing, right? Like, yeah. And then I remember I had a copy of like Street Fighter 2 on Genesis, which is pretty much just the arcade game. And then they would come out with like a new version of Street Fighter 2 every like year, and it was like, look, there's 2 more people you can play as.
Yep.
It was such a ripoff. Now that would be like DLC or whatever.
Yes.
Which is arguably still kind of a ripoff sometimes, but
at least you know what you're getting into then. Like,
but you had to buy a whole new cartridge. Back then. And no, I always thought Street Fighter was fun. I even kind of think the Van Damme movie is kind of fun.
Me too. I like the Van Damme movie.
I have a soft spot for it. That was the first movie I recognized. Like, when I remember as a kid, I don't remember when it came out, but I don't know, I was elementary age.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the theater and seeing it and like having a good time. My dad took me and he had a good time. And I remember us both afterwards, and me, even as an elementary school kid, was like, it wasn't a very good movie.
Right.
Like, that was the first movie where I was like, critically, I was like, that's not a good movie.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. I had fun with it.
Yes.
Whereas like Mortal Kombat, I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
God, now I'm trying to jog my memory. Like, the first movie I saw, like,
where you went,
it may have been like, I feel like it was like the Super Mario Brothers movie.
That was another early example of that. I remember leaving the theater and going, whoa.
I remember, but that one I was more like, whoa, that was weird. Even like as a kid, I'm like, that was strange.
Yeah,
what is this?
Super Mario Brothers came out in 93.
Uh-huh.
And Street Fighter came out in 94. So, yeah, back to back. So it's possible that Mario was the first one then that I had that reaction to.
Street Fighter was the first movie.
I remember being confused by Mario.
That's the thing, that was different.
This isn't anything like Mario.
Yes.
Yeah.
Street Fighter is the first movie where I watched it and went, wow, that lead actor is definitely on a lot of cocaine.
Right, yes. I didn't even know what cocaine was, but...
I'm like, I'm looking at Van Damme at that movie.
He had too much coffee this morning.
That guy is
He was on massive amounts of cocaine. Anyway, so we watched the Street Fighter trailer. It's delightful.
Yes.
Cody Rhodes' hair is
he's playing the same character as Van Damme, right?
He is.
He's Guile?
He is. Probably on less cocaine.
I would think so. I mean,
he doesn't seem like a cocaine.
If Cody were a wrestler in the 80s, then no. But I don't think the Code Man does a lot of.
Nah, he seems like a pretty clean guy.
He's pretty
family man.
Family man, yeah.
The movie,
go home and be a family man. Is that from Street Fighter?
The
game. I think that's one of the taunts.
Oh, that is one of the, after you get your butt kicked. Yeah,
he goes, go home and be a family man.
This is a pretty crazy trailer.
So we're getting Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat next year.
Yeah, the 2 big ones.
What are we missing? Tekken?
There's never been a Tekken movie, right?
There has been. Mm-hmm.
Live action?
Yes.
Oh.
It came out probably about 10 or 15 years ago. It did not do well at all.
Okay.
I don't remember who's in it, but it does exist.
I remember there being an anime, because I've got a VHS copy of the Tekken anime.
Okay.
Because I remember there were anime boobs in it. And it was the first time I saw anime boobs, and I was like, whoa, they can do that in cartoons? Whoa, cartoons?
Heavy Metal is, I think, the first.
Yeah, I didn't see Heavy Metal at that point.
The Lochner's mine. All right, so horrormovieyearbook at gmail.com.
Indeed.
If you want to give us your thoughts on the Street Fighter trailer.
So what's your favorite Street Fighter character?
So we did just record like an hour preview of 2026 movies where we talk about Street Fighter without having seen the trailer yet. So don't go in expecting our
We were born anew
Rockstar style breakdown of the trailer.
Frame by frame.
But it's a fun episode, and this will be our last episode proper of the year. Mm-hmm. That will be our last episode of the year.
Taking our holiday break.
Taking a holiday break this year.
We're busy.
It's a different it's the busy. Way it felt, like if it were a normal year, but the way it felt, our recording schedule, it's just not feasible with our schedule.
Got a big wedding coming up.
Got wedding,
Christmas,
New Year's, and then I've got some issues with work scheduling that can't be worked around. So
it's all good.
So we're gonna go out with a bang here.
Indeed.
With Guillermo Del Toro's Frankenstein. We talked a little bit about how we want to tackle this movie.
It's a tough one. It's a big movie, right? And so, Guillermo's been working on this thing he's been wanting to make a Frankenstein movie for like literally his whole career. I'd argue he's already made Frankenstein movies.
I was gonna say, I think most of the movies he's made, you can argue are Frankenstein. At least have some elements of Frankenstein.
In the same sense that like Carpenter was always saying like all of his movies are remakes of Rio Bravo.
Rio Bravo, yeah.
They're like most of Guillermo's movies are like riffs on the Frankenstein, the monster, being the hero. And you know what I mean, like
even stuff like Blade 2 had like Nomak is Frankenstein in a lot of ways.
Pan's Labyrinth, there's stuff in there.
Yes.
Hellboy, certainly there's stuff in
Hellboy,
there.
Mimic. Early stuff like Mimic is
even Shape of Water.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There's it's very much
this movie has some similarities. Yeah, we'll get into that too.
Yes.
All right, so let's just jump right in. You want to give general thoughts on?
General thoughts. That sounds good. And
non-spoiler.
Then we're going to do a character breakdown, I think, because that's the easiest way. You kind of came up with that idea, and I think that's probably the best way to do it. Going beat for beat, I feel like is going to be tough.
I think character by character, and then that will be, as we used to call it, spoiler Terry on the old Midwest Film Nerds.
Yes, once we get into that,
we can try to give non-spoiler thoughts for those who haven't seen it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been on Netflix for about a month or so now.
It's still a fresh movie, so
yes. All right, you want to go first?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was, admittedly, with how busy life is lately, when I looked at the runtime on this thing, I was like, oh no, because I have a hard time these days, even like getting through a 90-minute movie in one sitting, or over the course of, it takes me like 3 to 4 days. So I'm like, man, how am I going to squeeze this bad lad in? And I wound up watching the whole thing in one day, which was shocking to me. And then I went, wow, how did that happen? And why don't I do this more often? And I think I just kind of got into it. I think the reason why I got so into it is because like every bit of this movie is like dripping with the passion that he does have for this story, right? Like you can feel Guillermo like throwing it all in there. Like he's really, this just feels like something he's clearly, like he loves this story. He loves his version of this story. I appreciate that it does enough different stuff, both story-wise and just like vibes-wise, to differentiate itself from the countless other Frankenstein film interpretations. I think it's one of the better Frankenstein movies that I've seen. I haven't seen all of them by any stretch, but it's probably up there as far as like I think this is a better movie than like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I kind of like that movie still.
It's a Branagh one, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's an angry movie.
Right.
This one is different. It's different. Without saying too much.
Did you like it better than Yo Frankenstein?
I never saw Yo Frankenstein. No. I guess probably yes.
I Frankenstein, yes, probably yes.
I thought that I like Oscar Isaac. I thought he was really good as Dr. Frankenstein. A character who I think in any interpretation could easily be kind of just a villain, but I think that they did a good job. We'll dig into him a little bit. Supporting cast is all great. Who's the actor who plays the monster?
Jacob Elordi, I believe.
Is great.
Let me make sure I got
fantastic.
That right.
He's fantastic.
I don't think I've ever seen him in anything before this. I think he's on Euphoria.
Okay.
Jacob Elordi.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, we'll talk about him more later.
The score is great. I mean, I have no real complaints about the film. Except for maybe, and you had brought it up, some dodgy effects here and there, CG stuff here and there. But
right.
that stuff doesn't even bug me anymore. If it looks like a finished effect, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I move on pretty quick.
That's a fair point because there has been some stuff
that's like unfinished
where I'm like, oh, you could have taken another week.
You didn't finish that. Yeah, no.
I'm with you.
In bigger budget movies than this.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more later. But I'm with you.
There's some moments where I'm like, that doesn't look great, but no, I think it's fantastic. I think it's It's long. Excuse me. It's long.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could think that could be a turnoff for some people. But I will say, the way the movie is kind of broken up, it feels like chapters. And there's very defined kind of points where you could take a break. You could kind of split the movie up if you wanted to or if you needed to. Believe me, I know what that's like. And that being said, I don't be intimidated by the runtime because it moves pretty at a pretty steady pace, I thought, even though it's a massive story. So
right,
I really liked it.
Huh. So I watched it, I guess I would say twice now. And the first time I was like, very much like you, I put it on.
Did you watched it for this recording too?
So I watched it about a month ago.
Uh-huh.
Well, right after we had decided to do it, I said, all right, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
So that would have been almost 2 or 3 weeks now.
Okay.
3 weeks. So I watched it, and I was kind of in the same boat as you were. I was alone. I was up, and I said, all right, it's later and I've got some time. I'm going to throw this thing on and see how far I get, and then I'll finish it probably when I'm able to.
Sure.
And I got sucked in. And part of it is because, but here's the thing is like, I don't know. I watched it a second time recently kind of, and I did break it up a little bit just as a refresher because it had been a month or so since I watched it. And I'm still kind of wrestling with my thoughts on this movie. And I think some of it is, so you had brought it up. I remember reading about this movie. He has been talking about doing this movie since the old Ain't It Cool News days.
Dude, I remember him yes, that's a long time ago.
He was doing it, this was at the beginning of me knowing who Guillermo Del Toro was, because my introduction really to him was probably Blade 2, and then I went back. Yeah. He had I'd heard of Mimic, but I had not watched it before I watched Blade 2.
I think I saw Mimic before Blade 2, but I didn't have any interest in knowing who the director of Mimic was.
Right.
It's fine.
Yes.
But yeah, Blade 2 was the first time I was like, oh, this guy's kind of cool. Oh, he did Mimic. All right.
And it was through reading, back then it was blogs like Ain't It Cool News. Mm-hmm. And then listening to I actually really kind of fell in love with Guillermo Del Toro when he was just as a presence. I during his Blade 2 commentary track.
His voice is so cool.
And mm-hmm. He's so funny.
Very funny.
He fought there's a story of him at the end where Blade goes back to the Peep Show.
Oh yeah.
And
I haven't watched that in so long.
He's talking about how he was fighting to keep cum stains on the glass.
Oh my god. That's such a Guillermo del Toro
and he's
thing.
doing it in such a giggly way. I'm kind of giggling right now. Where this guy rules. This guy rocks.
Yeah.
But then he was talking about his other movies, Kronos and The Devil's Backbone, and he was doing it in a way. Those movies are so different than Blade 2.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was kind of reading about it. I'm like, wow, this guy is something. He is different than what I expected the director of Blade 2 to be. And I adore Blade 2. Blade 2, another movie that has some dodgy CG, but a movie that
that one fight scene is so funny. Noodle people.
Yeah, I believe in the commentary he even goes into he's like, it's not good. But he had to finish it. It was one of those things.
That's what it is.
So part of my conflicted feelings are, and because you mentioned is as I've watched him through his career, I believe I've seen all of his movies now. Yeah.
I think I've missed one or two of them.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I think I've missed a couple.
I haven't watched his Netflix series. Oh, my guess is you've probably missed you didn't watch his Pinocchio from a couple of years ago.
No, I didn't see that.
Even that in its own weird way is kind of a riff on Frankenstein with the whole creator and
the creator
yes.
creation thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't see Pinocchio. I kind of forgot that happened.
Yes. Well, that's the danger in Netflix, honestly.
Was that a Netflix thing?
That was a Netflix movie. It got Oscar nominated.
Okay.
But it was a Netflix movie.
Yeah, what?
Because they release them in theaters for a week, so they're Oscar eligible. Is basically.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, I've actually never seen Kronos. Funny enough.
Okay.
But Mimic, Devil's Backbone, Blade 2, Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy 2, Pacific Rim, Crimson Peak. I did not see Crimson Peak.
I'm curious what you would think of that movie.
Shape of Water.
Nightmare
Alley I really liked.
I did too. Nightmare Alley is really good.
That movie's kind of sweet. So I missed Pinocchio and I missed Crimson Peak.
Okay.
I think his weakest movie is like Pacific Rim. Honestly,
yeah, what's weird is this movie has similarities. Like the opening reminded me of like, it's like Frankenstein Kaiju, where he's just like bombing motherfuckers,
barreling through things. Yeah.
So I was sitting there and I just like, God, this movie has been in my head for probably 20 something years. And there's that idea too, where you've got a creator and you've got his obvious inspiration, and you're sitting there going the whole time like, you have this idealized version of what he could. I'm trying to think of another example of this, but I can't right now. But where you're like, wow, he is perfect to make that movie because he's been making that movie his entire career. But then you realize, like, is he perfect for this movie? Like,
sure,
he's already been doing this. Like,
yeah, like has he already kind of said everything he needs to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of conflicted because I had this idea of what it would be in my head. And then I'm watching it, and that's kind of running through my head the whole time. I will say, I like it. I liked it better on the second viewing, which has kind of been a thing with me for some of his more modern work. I believe I like Crimson Peak better on a second viewing too.
Okay. That's a haunted house movie, right?
Yeah, it's like a gothic horror movie. Very Hammer-esque, I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I do think, and it's been pointed out a lot recently, but I do think Charlie Hunnam he's a negative. In the movie. It's not a good performance. I don't think he's a particularly good actor.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so I fall, as I was kind of reading reviews, there kind of be a couple different, I fall in the camp that likes the Frankenstein's monster half of the movie, maybe not so much half, section of the movie. A little more. Okay. There's some very good stuff in the first half.
I agree.
Yeah. I do think the first half, though, there are times when it feels repetitive to me. There are times where on the second viewing, I was sitting here going like, I think we've seen this scene.
Do you think that might be a result of him being so passionate about the subject matter and this being such a long gestating project that like he just didn't want to let go of stuff? Do you think there's part of that?
I do. And I also think the thing with Netflix, and this is where I start to, maybe the critique goes a little bit too much into the brand or the company behind it.
I think it's okay.
Netflix will give you a lot of money to make your movie, and I do think they will give you creative freedom to make what you want to make. I think Stranger Things is kind of a good example of this, where there aren't as many guardrails.
Sometimes it's nice to have some limitations on things like a runtime.
What's funny about the Frankenstein thing is, in my head, when he was connected to Universal, that Universal version of Frankenstein a few years ago.
Yeah.
And that is different than what we got.
Very different.
And he would have been, and I'm just curious what I would have thought compared to this if he did have to go by some guardrails because they would have made, I do think they would have pushed him more towards that classic version of Frankenstein. I don't think we would have got this.
No, I don't think so.
It's like if you made a Creature from the Black Lagoon movie, he wouldn't have made Shape of Water, which is essentially a romantic version of the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Right.
And so I wonder if maybe some of that freedom, because you're right, that first half, there's a lot. The Victor Frankenstein section, there's a lot going on. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I don't think some of it, like the Christoph Waltz subplot, is necessarily fleshed out like I would have liked it to be before he
sure I can see that
leaves the picture. I'll say, and you're right. I think it's because it's kind of like if you were to if I were to sit down and write a novel tomorrow, I would go like, this might be my only shot at writing a novel. I would have put everything that
I'm putting all the stuff I ever wanted to put in it. Yeah,
everything I've ever wanted to say,
and it would probably not be all that. I don't know.
Yes.
Readable.
No, it wouldn't be. And someone would have to sit me down and go,
dude,
Tim, you have here's the stuff that works.
Yes.
Here's the stuff you've got to
trim this stuff back or whatever. Yeah, for sure.
And I think
having an editor is important.
Yes. And I think you kind of, you touched on it as well. Like, I do think maybe this is unfair, but some of the baggage I brought to it as well, where I'm sitting here going like, man, like, you're right. Like, this is so much. And maybe as someone who followed, I bring more baggage than someone who hasn't followed it for 20 years, who hasn't had this idea of a Guillermo Del Toro Frankenstein in their head for 20 years.
That's fair, though.
Right. It is an experience. The other thing I think that's also what sucked me in. I was sitting here watching it, not here, but like at my house at night, and I had the volume down because I got the kids sleeping, and it's not necessarily the best way to watch this movie, but even I'm sitting here going like, God, this thing is huge and gorgeous. Like
the scope.
We don't get horror movies like this every day.
No.
And what's funny is I think horror fans need to appreciate, we've gotten a few, like I would say 28 years later.
Yeah.
And Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm blanking on a couple, but we have gotten some big scope horror movies in the last few years, and I think people need to kind of sit back and go, wow. Like,
that's neat.
Sinners is the other one I was thinking of this year. Where I'm sitting here going like, man, I hope we don't take this for granted. Like,
yes, right.
This is not something, we don't get these big grandiose horror movies.
It's probably not going to last forever either. So.
No. So I was sitting there going like, I was sucked in, especially by that beginning too. And some of the set design and all that was just it is a beautiful movie.
The world pulls you in for sure.
I do think it would have maybe worked a little bit better if I would have seen it in the theater, to be honest, for me.
I get that
because just the way it is, and but like I said, I sat there that first time for 2.5 hours, and I was just locked in. So, so to sum up, still wrestling with my thoughts. I do like the movie though.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure, and most of my thoughts will be positive as we get into the character by character stuff. So
cool.
All right, you want to do it?
Yeah, we probably got to start with Victor, right?
You want to start with Victor?
Victor.
Let's start with the big ones.
Victor!
So, all right, Oscar Isaac.
Indeed.
Where do you want to start with this version of the character?
Okay. Well, we're in spoiler territory now. So,
yes.
What I will say about it is, it's impressive to me that Guillermo Del Toro is. I'm not going to say he's the first person to do this by any means. I mean, even the original novel, like it doesn't let Victor Frankenstein off scot-free. I mean, he pays for his affronts to science and nature and the natural order of things for sure. But I feel like most versions of the Frankenstein story paint him in a very victimized light. Like yeah, he screwed up, but like he doesn't deserve this stuff that's kind of happening to him after the fact. And
have you ever read the book?
Yes.
It's been a few years since I read the book. So I just wanted to preface...
He's not squeaky clean by any means in any version. Right. And in the book, he's not always a nice guy or anything. But like, this one really kind of drives home that they outright say it. It's pretty blatant that he's the monster, that he's the one who's... he's the evil thing here. Nobody else. He's willing to throw everybody else under the bus, and he's not a good person. He's a bad person.
What's funny is I do think it is a little bit sympathetic towards him when you talk about his dad.
I'll say that. That's what I was going to get
there.
Sorry. So no, you're good, you're good. So he's a bad man. Mm-hmm. He's selfish. He's vain. He's manipulative. He's dangerously reckless. He's full of constantly just saying one thing and doing another, and he's a kind of an ass. But like you're saying, though he is the villain of this movie, you see why he is the way he is, which I like.
He's also, I would argue, from what little we see of his father, he's an improvement on his father.
He is,
yes.
Based on what we see.
And part of that is because he's driven to be better in some ways than his father.
He wants to prove his father wrong in a lot of ways,
yes.
Right? I mean, he wants to show, because his father didn't love him, His father is insinuated to have killed his mother, too.
Yes.
Essentially. And I think that's a fair insinuation they make, because he very well could have. Charles Dance is great. as this type of.
once you see Charles Dance as the dad, you go. What's nice is he's got the connection to the Dark Universe as well.
Oh my god! He's like.
Do you think he did, Guillermo? Well, there are a couple of reasons you cast Charles Dance. One is, like we said, he is like once you see him, you're like, yeah. But also, maybe there's a little bit of Guillermo Del Toro like doing a little nudge to the Dark Universe.
I like to think
he does a couple little winks to the original Frankensteins.
He does. Yeah. I liked a couple of those moments. There was one that I was like, "Whoa, are we going there? Are we doing this?"
Yes.
We'll get there. That's another character, but
and the mother too is played by Mia Goth, right? And she plays,
which is kind of interesting. She's got a little like prosthetic or something.
Maybe a little on the nose by Guillermo.
It is,
especially when all we see is him drinking milk for much of the movie.
I noticed that. There's an implied. I don't think there's an incestuous relationship.
No.
There's an attraction there that's probably more than it should be.
Right.
With old Victor and his mama.
Yes.
So you see why he is the way he is, which I appreciate, because far too often storytellers tend to swing one way or the other too far, right? They're either like, this is a full-on villain and he's evil and there's nothing good about him, and he's just evil and he was born that way. Okay, that happens often. Or you get the flip side one, which I think is the more popular thing nowadays, where he's not really a bad guy. Not really. He does bad things, but he's not really. Like, it's the Loki factor. Like, he's not really a bad guy. Yeah, he's murdered countless people, but he's not really a bad guy. He just had a bad time, like...
I'm forgetting the guys. Yeah. So it's Bowen Yang, who's on SNL, and his podcast partner. I know I've mentioned this in the past, but there's a clip where they are talking about Disney movies and Disney villains. It's on their podcast.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how, like, every Disney villain now is not really a bad guy. Like, it's not really a villain.
Right.
And, like, Scar, Scar's he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Yes.
It's terrible. Yes. Gaston?
Yes.
There's nothing good about that guy.
No, there's nothing good about these guys. And that's okay.
I don't want nuance. For that.
And if I want to bring some sympathy to Scar, I probably can find some sympathy with Scar, like, if I want to. But like the same thing with Victor Frankenstein. I think I found a little bit of humanity in him.
Well, exactly. And again, that's what I think is they struck it doesn't go too far into that. He's not really bad. He's just tortured. I don't stop.
He's a shithead. He's a dick. He's
been through some things, some terrible things in his life. His father was an awful person.
Yes.
His mother died early. He was very attached to her. She died, so on and so forth. But like, he's still doing really awful things. Like,
he's doing bad things, and he's not doing them for the right reason.
No.
Yes, he's doing them because he essentially wants to be better than his dad, and he essentially wants to replace God.
Yes.
Is what he wants to do.
Yes.
Yes. And that's always been a theme with Victor going back to the book. And whereas this is very much it's centered around the tech bros of today, the Silicon Valley guys that are convinced AI is the next step in humanity. But essentially what they want to do, and this comes into play with Christoph Waltz's character, I can't remember, what's his name? Harlander. Oh. They want to, and this is a thing, they want to defeat death, essentially, is what they want.
Basically.
Yeah. Yes, that's what they want to do. Yep. And they are driven by fear of death and of money and greed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is essentially where...
They want to make as much of a fortune as humanly possible.
Yes.
And more, and hold on to it for eternity.
The other thing, too, is, and we've talked about with Charles Dance, and I think it's passed on, and I just want to build on it, too, is he's a bad parent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you get that. Maybe not so much for the younger brother. He seems pretty loving to the younger brother.
Oh, I'm talking about Victor.
Which almost makes it worse. Oh, I'm sorry. Victor's a bad... Okay.
To Frankenstein, to the monster.
Yes.
He's a bad parent. He is vain. He is mean. There is no empathy in him.
No, he's awful.
Yes.
He's abusive.
He's abusive.
Verbally,
yes.
Physically.
Uh-huh.
He straight up, like... essentially... burns his son alive. I mean, and he thought he did, right?
Right.
Now there is a very brief moment, and I'll say this: there's a very brief moment when he does start to kind of head back to that house after he hears him calling out.
Yes.
So it's not that Victor is like inhuman. There are moments in the story throughout the journey of Victor where he does show brief hints of humanity, and it tends to be after Mia Goth's character kind of comes into his life and kind of lightens him up a little bit. He finds a kindred spirit in her.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny part about that relationship, and I love it so much, is that like she, and I guess we'll talk about her a little bit too here, she has no interest in him whatsoever romantically, I don't think.
I think she's physically attracted to him. I think that's kind of how she plays it.
Okay.
I would say he's an attractive guy, Oscar Isaac. I think she plays it as physically attractive and toying with him because she knows he's weak.
I think she also knows he's not a good dude.
Yes.
Pretty early on. Like
she's
interested in him because I think, like I said, they're kind of kindred spirits. I didn't get that she was all that like romantically into him. Like I'm not saying she wouldn't like. She couldn't,
There's this thing, and this is something I really like about the performance. I don't know if I like Oscar Isaac. It's not my favorite performance in the movie. It's actually probably like my third, because I like Mia Goth and Jacob Elordi better. Some of it I don't think is so. The thing with his performances, as I was watching it the second time, I don't even know if it's his performance. I almost think it's the way it's shot, because a lot of the times we're not seeing his face during certain. Like the way it's shot, we're always seeing him from behind, and I'm kind of like, can we see this?
I wonder if there's a reason for that. I wonder if that's purposeful. I don't know what it would be, but
I don't know.
Del Toro seems like the type who would have a reason for doing that.
As I was reading, he has been working with a new cinematographer too, like a new DP. After the original guy, I can't remember his name right now, but he shot pretty much up until Shape of Water, I believe. Anyway,
maybe there's some growing pains there too.
Yeah, and and it's just a different style.
Interesting.
But yeah, I was sitting there, but he plays him like a rock star. He plays him like there's a lot of shirtless. There's a very funny scene that's an Austin Powers-esque scene where Oscar Isaac is like kind of naked and he's
his dong keeps getting covered up by stuff.
He's getting flocked.
You're right.
Like when Austin Powers is hiding it up the pineapple.
Very funny. It's very funny.
But he plays him, and it reminded me of David Bowie and Prince. He plays him almost Prince-esque in the sense, but it's also filtered through a guy who is not a rock star. Like, I don't think Victor Frankenstein, I don't think he's a cool guy. I think
he's kind of repressed and
yes, and he's presenting the idea of like, here's what I would act like if I were Prince.
He's putting on airs.
Yes, he's putting on airs. Thank you. And I think that's a really cool character trait.
That's a good read on that, yeah.
And I think that she pierces that and she sees through it.
It
also, to go back to the Tech Bro thing, it reminds me of because once we got through to it, I remember if you go back and watch Iron Man 2, Elon Musk makes an appearance at it, and he's like at a F1 race, and you don't really notice it because he wasn't as much in the public eye, and you're like, oh, this guy's like a smart guy. He's like a cool dude. He's inventing all like Tesla and stuff. He's inventing all these. He's coming up with these great ideas, and then like you watch him like the last couple of years, you're like, this guy's a fucking dork.
Yeah.
Like this guy's a giant like. He's just
weirdo
nerd.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this?
There's nothing cool about this guy.
And that's kind of how I feel about Victor Frankenstein. And you're right. When he runs back in, there are 2 times when he shows remorse, and the other time is when he's dying. Like, that's the only time some of these assholes show remorse is when they're on their deathbed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that was the other thing I thought of. You're
right. The rest of his actions are driven by very selfish reasons.
Yes, he does have actual talent, though. I'll give him that. Like they go out of a way to show he is a very smart.
guy.
For
sure. It's not that he's a bumbling idiot.
Right.
He's reckless. He uses his gifts for nothing but himself and his own gain and his own. Yeah, absolutely. He also has no empathy both for the monster and the people like the bodies he's experimenting on. Zero.
He has no empathy. He's very cold.
It's me.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, let's move on to Mia Goth's character. What's the character's name? I'm sorry, her name is.
She is Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. That's right.
Elizabetta. That's my Macho Man impression.
That was good.
Thank you.
The Frankenstein kind of Easter egg references I was referring to were her outfit when she is tragically shot.
Oh yeah.
Killed. She's got the arm wraps.
Yeah.
That the bride wears in the OG. Bride of Frankenstein. Like it's like that dress, and I was like, oh shit, they're gonna do this right. Like they're like
he sets the bride up
big
a little
time,
bit, right? Because Frankenstein goes out of his way to mention he wants a companion,
right? And that's straight from the book too,
right?
Yeah,
but this stuff it felt like they are yes,
but I mean I saw the dress. I'm like, okay, it's Mia Goth, like. I mean, I guess she could exit the movie at this point in time. It would make sense. But like, man, I think he might do this. He doesn't, which is probably for the best. I don't know how much more the movie needs at that point in time. But I like the reference to the get up, so to speak. The raps were really cool. She's an interesting character too. Mia Goth's one that's always fascinating to me because like I've seen her in quite a few things now.
Yes.
And she's such an interesting actress to watch because like I can never like I like all of her performances, but I can never pin down like who is she? Like
yeah.
And I kind of like that. I like the fact that I don't know. Like she plays characters in such unique, oddball ways with these little nuances and these little quirks about them. Even these tiny moments, like there's a couple moments with Elizabeth that I noticed where I'm like, what is that choice she's making right there? Because I really like it. Like not in like a what the hell was that? Like more of like a, oh, that was interesting. I like that. Like she does this weird thing with Elizabeth where like she'll be in a conversation with somebody and she'll kind of like trail off and just kind of like look wistfully off for a second and then kind of snap back to our conversation. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, and I don't know what I think it's purposeful. And I think there's
like as you say this, like you mentioned that like. I think there's a reason Ty West decided, I want to make 2 more movies with this actress.
Yeah, I think he saw her and he's like, holy shit,
yeah, he's like,
more of this.
And Sarah was like watching her performances, like, I want to do more.
Did you see the third one?
I did, and I'm on the positive side of that one.
Maxine.
Okay. People have compared it to Scream 3, and I think that is an apt comparison for that movie and that trilogy. And I can see why some people don't like it as much.
I've only seen the first one.
Okay.
Pearl, I've heard is fun.
Pearl is good. I think I might be more of a Maxine fan, weirdly enough.
Okay.
Kevin Bacon, that is.
That's right.
Something else.
Anyway.
All right. Back to Elizabeth. Yeah.
I think she's really interesting to watch, and that certainly carries through into this film too.
There's like the thing I wanted to talk about too with her, and we kind of touched on it. There's like a love rectangle, I believe, is probably the.
I guess so. Yeah. It's unrequited. Like she does not love Victor.
We talked a little bit.
She really doesn't love him.
No, she doesn't.
There's an attraction there. I would agree with you on that. I think that's fair. There is an attraction there. I think though, by the time that she is set to marry his brother, I don't think she's interested in Victor at all at that point.
She's set to marry his brother though too, but like. She's not really even in love with.
Well, she's not in love with the brother either.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, by then, I don't think she's not even into Victor at that point.
No.
I think she's kind of resigned herself to the fact that she's not going to be happy.
She's going to marry this guy,
and
that's going to be her life.
And that's her life.
And she's not interested in him either. Like, there's no. I actually think that's I love that about the movie is they don't like it's all Victor that's attracted to her and like pining after her.
Yes, well, and I like the agency that she has too. And I'm not just saying
she's
that
not leading him on. Really,
no, not really. I'm not saying that from like a. That's a kind of a, I don't know, like people throw that whole agency thing out there, but like she does, like as a character, like she's living in a time period where she's like going to agree to marry somebody she doesn't love because that's the way things went
she's
back
accepted
then.
that's the way of the world.
But she also refuses to be anything but herself in terms of like she is who she is, right? And she's in love with the monster, like.
And I don't think it's not like a Shape of Water thing where she.
It's not sexual.
It's not
in
sexual.
nature for either one of them.
No,
I think again.
Would you say it's motherly?
I don't think it's.
I don't think
either.
I would go that far either.
No, I think it's more. I think it's a little more symbolic. What it is in regards to like so. She talks frequently about how she sees the beauty in nature and in the weird and the odd and all this stuff. She talks about it quite a bit, and Victor kind of connects with her in that way. The difference with Victor and her though is that Victor Victor doesn't mind taking those beautiful things and crushing them to try and, whereas she wants to appreciate them and
she loves them. Yeah.
Correct. And so when she sees the monster, just she's an odd duck, you know, and like I think it just the monster kind of represents everything that she's like. She sees him and it kind of like she goes, this is some like she feels a kindred connection to the monster because she's always felt like an outsider. She's always felt like an outcast. She's always kind of felt like leftovers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And she's also
like no one understands her.
She's living this life now that she did not ask for in a lot of ways.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's romantic necessarily. I think it's just
it's like a spiritual.
Yeah, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe I got anyway. Yeah, oh yeah, because I forgot the Shape of Water. Like, there's like merman sex in that.
Yes, and that's not, there are similarities because of it's a love between a creature and a human female.
It's just not the same vibe.
It's not the same thing, but I do think there are some interesting parallels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in some ways.
But I think it's an interesting relationship, and they really don't have a ton of screen time together, which is too bad. The monster and Elizabeth. There's not a ton, because basically by the time he comes back on the scene, she's about to eat a bullet anyway, which is too bad. I also like, again, because we're kind of going, certainly Guillermo's running with the theme of Victor being the monster in this version of the story. Having Victor being the one that essentially, even though it's not purposeful, but again, acting out of impulsiveness and recklessness and selfishness, winds up killing Elizabeth with this stray bullet. Yeah. You know, in the book, the monster kills Elizabeth.
Right.
So we changed that up. And even the monster killing Victor's brother it's kind of like a collateral damage. He's not actively like when he kills Victor's brother. I didn't get the vibe that he's like, oh, there's Victor's brother, I'm going to kill that guy. Mm-hmm. He just kind of like shoves him out of the way and he hits his head.
Yes.
So there's
the changes that I remember. Yeah. Feel very Guillermo-esque.
Yes.
In the sense that they
serve his version of the.
Yes, and I think that's it's the kind of adaptation I like in a lot of ways, where I do think it's true to the spirit of the to the book in a lot of ways, but I also think it's filtered through his worldview.
Yes, and his worldview is so unique,
right?
That I think that the character that benefits the most from it, obviously, is the monster, because that's the character that Guillermo loves. Like that's his favorite character,
right?
But I do think that the Elizabeth character feels a lot more interesting in this version than she has in previous iterations.
She gets there are a couple things with her I wanted to mention. So there's that scene that's kind of like it's almost played like a screwball comedy, but it's also an important scene in piercing kind of his ego, which is the scene in the confession booth.
Oh yeah, because he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. Yeah,
yeah. And she knows immediately she's onto him.
Full of it.
Yep. And I like that scene, and I think that sets the tone for their relationship moving forward. I think it's a smart scene. I think it's a funny scene.
She's always got the upper hand in that.
She's smarter than him.
She is.
Yes. Yeah. She doesn't. She may not be smart. Maybe book smarter, I guess. But although I don't know, but she is wiser than him, I guess. Maybe is the term.
She's more savvy than him.
Yes, and there's part of him that's attracted to that, and I think there's part of him that can't stand that.
Oh, it drives him nuts. But again, it's another situation where, like, I do think that I think he cares about her as much as he can care about somebody else. Mm-hmm. I think he cares about his brother too, as much as he can care about somebody else. Yeah. It's not that he has zero affection for anybody, but again, Elizabeth and Victor never would have worked because ultimately, once he had conquered that, he would have.
That's the thing. Yes.
Been,
Good point. She's a conquest.
That's what it is for him, because because she is a couple steps ahead of him at all times.
Yep.
And he needs to figure out a way to solve that problem or solve that riddle.
The other thing I wanted to mention with her real quick is she has I think one or two, maybe we're just one. She's some, and this is where I think is maybe a little bit underbaked, and maybe it's Guillermo trying to throw everything in because he's Devil's Backbone is kind of an anti-war movie. It's not kind of an anti-war movie. It is.
Yeah, very much so. Pan's Labyrinth has a lot of that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
She gives a monologue that is essentially an anti-war monologue. And it just, I kind of feel like it's underbaked and it doesn't fit with a lot of it. It feels like it's in an earlier draft of the
I got you.
Script.
Yep.
And this is where it ties into Christoph Waltz's character, who I will never remember the name of.
Harlander.
His character, where I just feel like that stuff either it should have been developed more, and it's not as developed as I would have liked to be in the final product.
I didn't think about it in the moment. It might be because I kind of broke the movie up into a few chunks.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree with that. I think that's a fair assessment, for sure.
Are you done? Do you want to talk about Elizabeth Moore? Who do you want to move on?
We got to talk about the monster because here's the thing.
Do you want to touch on Harlander real quick?
Yeah, we can briefly. Christoph Waltz. So he's so interesting because he's an actor that dude. Remember when he exploded after Inglourious Basterds?
Yes.
Kind of like an older actor to kind of hit that. And he was starting to be used in things.
He and the guy from the Spielberg movie Bridge of Spies, Mark Rylance.
Yeah.
They're both around the same time, kind of older actors.
And then they kind of feel like they kind of disappeared a little bit. It's interesting. I mean, Christoph Waltz still pops up from time to time. Not as much as I would have expected, given his explosion there at the. I don't know if there was one or two career choices that maybe weren't. I mean, he did that Green Arrow movie. Or that Green Hornet movie, I mean.
Green Hornet, yep.
Yeah, he did a couple weird ones like that, I guess, but I don't know. Anyway, he was in that last Daniel Craig Bond movie too, right? One of them?
No, he was in Spectre, not the final one, because the final one was the dude from Mr. Robot. I can't remember his name right now. I do like Spectre's...
Is he Blofeld in that?
Yeah.
He's Blofeld, right? Mm-hmm. Is that a spoiler?
No, it's Spectre. Spectre's been out for 10 years now, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yes.
But anyway, so I it's always a pleasure to see him pop up. I'm a fan of Christoph Waltz. I like him. I think he's an interesting actor. I think he's fun to watch. And he's fun in this too.
He is a lot of fun.
He's a lot of fun. He's a little bit in a different movie than everybody else.
This is what I want to talk about real quick. Before the buzz. He does. He's hamming it up a little.
He's hamming it up a little bit. And again, I find that hard to believe that that's not by design for some reason, because Guillermo has a pretty steady hand on what he wants his films to look like, and
he's a bit of a he's a bit of a rascal.
He is. And so I think Harlander's not around for long. Mm-hmm. And Harlander feels like a comment on to me the aging politician.
He's a boomer.
That's what it feels like.
He's the boomer politician, the war man. He's the military side of things as well.
Yes, he feels like kind of that. His body's falling apart, mm-hmm. literally. Mm-hmm. He's he's aging. He's got, and he's willing to do awful things to not die ever.
He's not, but the thing is, he's not really willing to do them himself.
No. He wants other people to do them for him. He'll throw the money at the problem.
He doesn't have the talent.
Right.
He has the money.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And he's willing to give out for a price.
Yeah.
And his patience only lasts so long.
And he's got this money through nefarious means, I'm sure.
Yeah, it seems shifty.
Yeah.
So Harlander's kind of fun. And he meets his demise kind of humorously. So, I mean, I don't have a ton to say about the character beyond that.
No,
I think Christoph is fun. He's a little hammy. He feels a little bit out of place in certain moments where I'm like, this is not the movie we've been watching. But I think it's that, again, I think it's on purpose.
Me too.
Maybe there's a comment there on maybe there's almost a comment on that all right, go away. Go away, old man. I don't know.
Yeah.
There might be.
And I do think that's a strength of this movie, and that's a strength of Guillermo Del Toro too, because you could watch a movie like this and it could feel stuffy, but he's got enough of that Fangoria kid in him that he can
add some levity.
He has a little fun, and he'll throw in some some really good gore.
Oh yeah, I mean that opening sequence, the monster's like punching heads off dudes. It's insane.
Yeah,
I remember like that opening sequence. I'm like, what is this movie now? What I kind of thought it was going to be. Yeah.
Okay, so we've kind of touched on his character, I think, as far as All right. You want to talk about now? Let's talk about the monster, the creature, whatever you want to refer to him.
Is there any other minor character that you really want to delve into? I don't think there's a ton. I like the ship captain. I think he's fun.
Yeah, I mean, some of the shipmates are good. We talked about the brother. He doesn't have a ton to do.
Not a lot going on there. Charles Dance, we touched on.
We talked about the mom.
That's about it, character-wise.
I think it's.
I just want to make sure we didn't have anybody else that we wanted to.
I want to touch on the monster, and then I want to touch on Guillermo a little at the end.
Of course.
I want to wrap up with Guillermo.
Yeah. The monster, Jacob Elordi. Never seen him in anything. Never watched Euphoria. I think my wife Nikki, she's watched like the first season or two, maybe. Didn't seem like my type of show.
Euphoria is a very funny show. I've not watched it either, but it's through season 2, and the next season is coming like 6 years later. Like it's been so long since the last season of that show.
It's because all their actors are doing movies.
Yeah, they're all very like. Well, I mean, this guy. I've never heard of him. He's in all sorts of movies apparently.
Yeah, one of the leads on Euphoria is doing was just in Weapons. He's doing the Resident Evil movie with Krieger now.
Oh, really? Who's that?
The one who plays the junkie in Weapons.
Okay.
The funny junkie guy.
And then, Zendaya's in it, and Sydney Sweeney's in it.
They're busy as hell.
That whole cast. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway, so never seen him in anything before, but boy, is he great. I mean,
I was blown away. Look, like this Faraz is fucking awesome.
It's crazy. He's the standout.
I think so too.
Performer in the movie, and I think everybody's pretty damn good.
I'm so like I didn't know what to expect, and I'm glad it was something different than the Boris Karloff version.
Yes,
because that's the version that's always in my head, and this is so different than that.
Well, and it's different than the De Niro one that they did with in the Branagh.
Mm-hmm.
It's different than there's elements of other interpretations. I mean, there's certain I see little pieces, but it's very much its own thing. I love that during the Victor section of the film, his perspective, that you can't quite get a handle on if the monster is a menace or is going to be a sympathetic creature, or like you don't really know, because you're getting Victor's side of the tale, and the only real the intro to the monster we get is he's like vicious and like crushing people, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So you kind of go into this, even watching Victor do very questionable things and be kind of not a nice dude, you're still assuming, okay, the monster's going to be this snarling, angry beast, and then you get to his section, and like he's kind of like he's super well spoken, and you're like, oh, okay, all right, let's hear his story now. And his section is so good, man. Like they cover kind of all the great beats of that Frankenstein story with regards to the monster's journey and kind of the big points he hits, like staying in the cabin with the old man, the blind man, going on the journey to find out where he came from, tracking down Victor, and then obviously journeying to the Arctic or whatever. And like all of those sections had their own unique twists on kind of what happens with the monster and Victor and their dynamic. And I think all of them work. And again, all of them work in the benefit of what Guillermo's vision is in terms of like painting the monster as not the hero per se. I don't think there's a hero in the story. Painting the monster as a real, a real living, breathing, like sentient creation. Like he's his own person, and I love that. Like he's not just pieces of somebody. Like he has his own birth, and it's the moment that he's woken back up, and it's really, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we're all pieces. Like that's the thing, is like we're all pieces of some.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, and so he's pieced together, but he's all of these pieces, but he's his own thing.
who's gone through his own experiences
Yes.
and his own learning and his own of course, and I love that. But you get to see that, which is nice. Like,
and the thing about his performance and the movie itself and Guillermo's direction is we watch him, and there are different things he does throughout the movie that show growth.
Yes, all the way through.
Like all the way through. Like he's a different character every scene as we go forward and forward in the plot line.
It's really cool, and he does such a good job of like very clearly through his performance, very clearly defining where the monster's at.
Yep.
In his growth at that point in time. It's a brilliant performance. And I don't throw that out there lightly. All of his stuff in the cabin with the old man is so touching. Like that whole section is so. I love that section of the movie.
That is the well, I think I can't remember where I mentioned it. I had mentioned watch the new Snow White movie, and I'm not comparing it, but it's the dark fairy tale version. It reminded me of Snow White in a lot of ways because he's seeing he's going with all these forest creatures. Like he's meeting all these forest creatures. He's learning from them.
He's got little mouse friends.
He's seeing the deer. The deer stuff. All right. The deer stuff, though, without the CG aside, that's also the part where we learn like the humans are the bad guys.
Yes, that's definitely in there.
But then we also see the wolves attack, and that is just kind of like, well, it's their nature.
I think it very easily could have gone humans bad. What have we done? What have we become? Kind of thing. It's not that. I think there's an element of like that about how cruel humanity can be in this film,
right?
Not just through Victor, but through other things that we see, including the hunters in the cabin, but also. And the monster says it, like, I understand, like, these men don't want to kill these wolves, but they have to protect these sheeps. These sheep.
Right.
Sheeps. And the wolf is just trying to kill the sheep to survive. Like, he gets it right away. He's like, and he basically says, like, the world is violent. Like,
he's been thrust into this world. He has not. So that's the thing about the original novel, from what I remember. It's very emo-y. It's very emo in the sense that, sure. It's very gothy, I should say.
It is.
In the sense that
old school goth.
It is kind of it always reminds me of the Queen lyric. Sometimes I wish I'd never been born at all.
Yep.
Or the We Belong Dead. And that's kind of where it ends. This, I think, takes a different route, and I really like it for it, which is essentially, you know what, I did not ask to be here. I've been born in a world with a lot of violence and a lot of nastiness. Yep. But I think if you're focused on that, and if you're focused on the Victor character in this movie, you're forgetting about Elizabeth and the other side of things and the beauty in the world. And as the Frankenstein's monster meets her and then goes off into this kind of fairy tale land where there is all this darkness, he sees that side of things too, and he decides, I'm going to go a different route.
And I like that. I like that he, despite the nastiness of the world around him and all these negative experiences he has, basically from the beginning of his journey all the way through the end, he doesn't choose to die either.
Right.
Which is an interesting choice because in the original, interpretation, or in the original version of the novel version, and basically any other like relatively faithful adaptation of it, that story ends with the monster committing suicide.
Yes.
Burning himself on a pyre in the Arctic.
Right.
After he finds Victor. He doesn't do that here. He walks into the sunset. Like, he's going to go off and live some sort of a life, whatever that may mean.
That's a Guillermo Del Toro ending. Like, that's...
Yes. Yes. So he's seen the ugliness and the nastiness and all the horrible things that this world can do to you, and he still chooses to forgive Victor, despite the awful things that Victor's done, including like creating him. Chooses to forgive Victor, and then chooses not to give up and not to try and end everything. We don't know where he goes, but he's still walking when that movie ends, and he looks like he's got there's like a hopeful vibe about it.
it's a Catholic ending too. It is, and it's also a Stephen King ending.
Yeah,
it is. It is. It's the old.
Sure.
I mean, it's the Shawshank ending. You dig through a bunch of shit and you get out on the other side.
Huh? I like endings like that.
Me too. That's horror movies in a nutshell. A lot of way. Yeah. There were a couple of things I wanted to touch on. Doug Jones was attached to this role for a while, right?
I don't know. I would not be shocked. That would not surprise me.
I thought there were some similarities to his performance.
Sure.
The other thing is, too, he reminded me a lot of Nomak from Blade 2 and Nuada from Hellboy 2.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Both in the look and kind of the performance as well.
Yeah.
This was inspired by Bernie Wrightson, too. A lot of this was...
great artist. Yeah.
Yeah, he co-creator of Swamp Thing, I believe. He did a lot of Marvel Comics work as well. So the look is kind of based on his illustrations.
That's awesome.
Of the monster.
It's a great design.
Mm-hmm.
Creepy, feels like a pieced together walking corpse person, but also kind of like, like sexy Frankenstein, but not like CW. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, like
not that. Remember the SNL skit from when it was Bill Hader with the Frankensteins, like the Twilight Frankenstein?
I don't think so.
It was like a spoof of Twilight, but they were Frankensteins instead.
It's amazing.
So yeah, I think we kind of touched about it. Some of that section 2 talks about kind of the power of art and how you learn empathy and you learn how to be a human through stories and art itself. So that's all in there too, and that's probably why. Maybe it's because it's in a lot of ways it's the more hopeful section of the movie for me. Maybe that's why I gravitated more towards it. But I really love that section. It's kind of what made the movie. It made the movie for me.
I agree.
I
think it's the best section of the movie for sure.
All right, so Guillermo, and then let's get out of here.
Let's do it, man.
I kind of mentioned there's enough of him here in this movie that I think it overcomes some of the pitfalls that I mentioned earlier. It does feel like his movie. There's the gore. There's like the camera zooming through the body.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah.
That's so cool. You can see his influences. You know his influences. His influence are this movie, but like that's okay. Like,
it's interesting because because like a good, as we said, a fairly large chunk of his work is influenced by this story. And then now he's turning around all this kind of... Because he takes... Like, you can see all the stuff Del Toro's learned as a filmmaker kind of come back around into this movie. I do see elements of, like, Nightmare Alley.
Yep.
And some of the stuff he did on that movie in here. And, yeah. I'd imagine, too, the one I've missed... what's it called? The Hammer-esque one.
Oh, Crimson Peak?
There's probably vibes there, right?
Especially with Elizabeth, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that because he's able to take that stuff. You know, if he had made this movie, you know, back when he was first talking about wanting to make this movie, it'd probably be a very different movie.
And if he would have made it with like Universal, it would have been a very
different movie. It's cool that he was able to, warts and all, and there's maybe some things that could have been trimmed or slimmed down or whatever. It's cool that he did get to make 2025 Guillermo Del Toro's version of it, I guess. It'd be interesting to see what he would have made back when he was making Mimic and Blade 2 and stuff like that. I think it'd be a very different beast, but
I don't think it would be as mature.
No. No, I think it'd be more in line with kind of the opening sequence of this movie, but kind of throughout. My cat's yelling at you, Tim, I think.
Oh, it might be because I'm playing with the... I'm messing with that, sorry.
No, she's interested. She wants to see what you're up to.
I'm fidgety, yeah.
She's on patrol right now. So. Anyway, but no, it's cool that he, Guillermo in 2025 was able to make this version of it. I think is very cool. So, even with bad CG wolves.
We've touched on the CG wolves.
Are they better than the wolves in The Gray?
Nah, they're about the same. We talked about The Ring 2 is the deer, right?
It's awful.
This has got a bad deer too. I think this is better than The Ring 2.
Yeah, there's a bad
deer
in
and
this.
wolves, very tough for movies to get
Why
right.
are so many movies do have?
Why do they bother?
Why are deer and wolves CG in so many movies? I guess.
You don't want to train them. You don't want to bring in. They're tough animals to train, I assume, especially deer. I would think
wolves would be that hard to train.
deer are so
They're
skittish.
essentially dogs, right?
Yeah, good point.
You know what I mean?
But
like
with the wolves, like you have to have them attack. That's the other thing too. Is like you have to have like an action. He wants an action scene with these wolves.
yeah,
And he wants the wolves to attack, and I don't know how you do that with actual wolves. The deer, I don't know. You can just do it.
I don't think you really train a deer.
That's the thing. It's like Can you train a deer?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. Like, you have to have a fake deer. It doesn't. It took me out of the movie. It doesn't ruin the movie. We've saved it. We've gushed about a lot of this movie. We could talk about the negative CG. But you're right. You said earlier, this doesn't feel like they rush. They feel like finished effects. They just
Exactly. They're just not particularly believable.
They just don't look great to me. It's not even that they don't look great. It's just like
They look like CG wolves and deer.
they don't look natural.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
It is what it is.
I don't want to belabor that. Monsters as saviors has always been a thing throughout his.
Yeah.
We've talked. I think we've kind of talked about everything that we want to talk about, right? I'm sure. I guess to wrap things up, I like this movie a lot. I respect this movie a lot. I don't know where it falls yet on.
You don't love this movie.
I don't love this movie, but I could see myself. I think maybe my issue is I don't know if there's enough of that. You mentioned earlier that early Guillermo in there. Maybe it's just because he's grown and different as a filmmaker. But like when I watch that trailer for the new Raimi movie or even Drag Me to Hell, there's still a little bit. There's enough of that early Sam Raimi in those. Mm-hmm. Where I go, like with Drag Me to Hell, there's enough of early Sam Raimi where I go, oh, I love this movie.
I guess I think that makes sense to me. Because again, like if Peter Jackson right now, is like I'm gonna make a horror film again,
mm-hmm.
and you didn't see any twinkle of that old
Dead Alive
era Peter Jackson, and we saw kind of where he's at now and with all the stuff he's done, I think I'd feel a little bit bummed about that too.
Yes.
Not bummed, just like, oh, okay, all right, I guess,
There is a little bit in this one with like I mentioned, the gore and kind
some of it, yeah.
But it's not it's not come on the windows, on the peep show window.
No.
Garrett.
There's no semen in this movie.
Yeah.
No.
Is
there are seamen though.
You were very happy when you thought it, and you should be.
It just popped in my head. That was not planned. No, I wish I was that clever.
You got me there. Yeah.
Yep.
But you know what I mean. So
I got you. No, I do understand what you're saying.
I think that's maybe holding me back from loving it.
And I think again, I think you've acknowledged, and I think it's fair that you're in kind of anticipation of like how rad a Guillermo Del Toro Frankenstein movie is going to be,
mm-hmm.
has been kind of building up through the years, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
And since as far back as when it would have been that Guillermo del Toro making the Frankenstein movie.
Right.
So it's tough to reconcile, I think, a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's finally here, but it's not really kind of what you ever would have thought it was. Yeah. It's not that you don't like it.
No, I definitely like it.
And I almost feel like if a different director was directing this, you would be even like hotter on it than you are right now. Not that you don't like it, but again, like I feel like you. But I think the Guillermo aspect maybe even.
I'm bringing some baggage to it.
Sure, yeah.
And that might not be fair, but it is what it is.
Oh, dude, it is.
What are your final thoughts on this bad boy?
Well worth a watch.
Yeah,
well worth a watch. I think it's very good. I think if nothing else, I think it's nice to have a very unique kind of take on the Frankenstein story, and I think Jacob Elordi's like really good.
Mm-hmm.
That his performance is worth watching for. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes a minute for him to get going because of the nature of the character, but dude, it's like once it's fantastic.
I have seen it in something. There's a movie called The Mortuary Assistant, I believe, or is it The Mortuary Collection? Now I'm like, it was a Shudder movie. It's a movie I quite liked. I should probably get the title right. Mortuary Collection. It stars Jacob Elordi, and Clancy Brown is the guy I was thinking of.
I like Clancy Brown.
It's a fun little movie. It's on
Clancy
Shudder.
Brown's sweet.
It's a nice little. It's a Shudder 2.5 star, 3 star that I always talk about. But it's fun, and so I have seen him in something. I just don't remember him.
Right. Does he have a? Does Guillermo have some sort of agreement with Netflix then? Is that
because he did the Cabinet of Curiosities,
right?
And so I think he did, and so that was something we didn't touch on. That if we maybe went shorter on the Tiny Terror, like I wanted to talk a little bit about the Netflix side of things, but because they've been in the news so much recently with the maybe purchase of Warner Brothers. We'll see how that shakes out.
Right.
And just kind of their dominant win in the streaming wars. It's so like the streaming wars are over at this point. It's Netflix and Prime essentially that have won them. I mean, like these other ones will exist, but
is the Netflix Warner thing going through?
I don't know.
I heard Paramount
came in with that hostile bid. I don't know. There are negatives.
I don't like either option.
That's the thing is like
I think I'd rather go to Netflix.
There are negatives,
than Paramount. I don't like Paramount's ownership.
I'm with you. But then you deal with that, and then you got to worry about the death of movie theaters, physical media that comes along with the Netflix side of things. But is that worse than the death of
I get what
democracy?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, so the Netflix side of things, it's funny is because I do think he has someone compared it, and I'm going to steal it, and I don't know who to credit it to. The Netflix thing feels like essentially what Christoph Waltz is doing in this movie with Guillermo, which is just like giving them a bunch of money to essentially further their own selfish means.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, they're not making Frankenstein, I wouldn't say they're maybe for money, yes, but they're doing it for awards acclaim. They're giving these directors like Scorsese and Guillermo and
they're trying to legitimize Netflix.
Fincher, they're legitimizing it. They're making the caveat that, we'll release your movie in theaters because I know that's what you want for like 2 weeks so you can be happy and so that we can be eligible for Oscars because that's what we want. We want the prestige that comes along with that.
Yep.
So that's basically what they're doing, and I don't fault Del Toro for this because he's able to make the movies he wants to make with a lot of money. I guess I take issue with Scorsese has said this, Spielberg has said this, Spike Lee's another one who's worked with Netflix in the past, and I sit there and I go like, you can make movies without these people. You just aren't going to get paid the money that you would get paid by Netflix. I get kind of irritated when I've heard some of the older filmmakers say stuff like that, which is essentially like, we can't get these movies made without this. And I'm like, yeah, you can. You're just not going, like, you're Steven Spielberg, you're Martin Scorsese. You can get movies made.
100%. That's a cop out.
But I also understand from the perspective of you want to make the movie you want to make, and I think he was able to. Del Toro was.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is. I don't think it was hampered in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But for better or worse.
Yeah.
All right.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Stay tuned for our 2026 preview. When we come back, I don't know. Do we want to commit to what we talked about?
Because I think it'll actually like force me to watch it too.
Okay. We want to talk about Welcome to Derry, I think, is what we're going to talk about.
Tim is like caught up on it.
I've been watching week to week,
There's one episode left.
Yes.
Right? Comes out on Mondays.
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
And then I think Sunday night, both the app and the network. For as long as the network exists before Netflix buys.
Yeah, so I have to catch up.
But you wanted to check this one out, and I want to talk about it too. So we'll be a couple weeks after, but that's fine. It might give me a chance to kind of gestate a little with it as well.
How is this going to affect my $3 a month HBO Max that I signed up for a year?
What do you mean?
This whole merger thing. Like, is HBO Max going to be around a year from now?
Yes, because it's essentially they've got to go through a lot of.
Good. Okay.
It's going to be.
I just don't want anything to get screwed up in my life.
Basically, it's going to be 18 months before.
Perfect.
If the deal goes through, even it's going to be 18 months.
Perfect.
And then they've talked about keeping the. There are no details to this thing. They've talked about keeping the app separate.
They don't know what they're doing yet.
They have no fucking clue. These streamers. Sorry. Here's this dirty little secret: is these streamers have no clue. Most of them are losing money on these things.
Mm-hmm.
They've decided they're okay with losing a ton of money.
I guess.
So they have no clue. So for the next year, you will be good.
Awesome. So long as I keep my $3.
They'll fold it in Netflix, and then everybody, all the people who paid that just wanted to have Netflix. This is the funny thing about streaming too. Is now I'm off on a tangent. Is all these streaming prices are going up because of sports, and more than half the people that are subscribing to these things have no interest in watching sports.
Yeah.
Like they're just like these poor people. Like you're telling me
it's right back to cable again.
It's cable. Like these people that are subscribed to Paramount Plus now, their things are going to go up $10 a month because they got UFC. You're telling me the fucking people that subscribe to Star Trek to watch Paramount Plus
watch UFC.
they're sitting there going like, oh god.
They just want content. They don't care what the content is.
They want live content.
It's so unfocused. It's just
so bad. Yeah. It's so bad.
How is navigation getting worse on these things? It's like harder to find crap on streaming services than it ever was before.
Oh my god.
It's terrible.
I know they're wrestling, AEW.
Yeah.
I usually watch it on YouTube TV, and the reason is because like I know where I can find it on YouTube TV mostly. When I go into Max to try to find an AEW show, I don't know where to go. Like you've got to like actually type it in, and then you've got to find the right season. What
a nightmare! All right.
Well, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everybody. Stay safe.